Hey family, let me run a hypothetical by you real quick. What if on one Sunday we had a person or a couple come and join us for our Sunday gathering, and they came and enjoyed it, and they weren't Christians, but they'd been curious about the faith, and they saw people enjoying and worshiping Jesus. They heard the gospel, and God moved in their hearts and lives and saved them, and they put their faith in Jesus. And imagine they had that experience, and they wanted to share it, but they were they were waiting for someone to come talk to them or come introduce themselves to them, or they just didn't want to just initiate being visitors. And imagine they went home with no one doing that. Now, I don't know that that's happened at Northbrook. I don't believe that's happened at Northbrook, but it could happen here, and it could really happen at many churches. And I say that as a hypothetical just to help us consider and think about, as we see people we don't know that gather together with us on Sunday, that we should consider what it looks like to step outside of our comfort zone. We should think about sacrificing even the conversation we're going to have with someone that we really enjoy and know really well and are really excited to see, to go talk to someone we don't know, we have never met, as an act too, as Paul encourages us to in Romans 15, I think 7, where he says, welcome one another as Jesus has welcomed you. That we would do that as that kind of welcoming presence. That I would be able to say, hey, come to Northbrook and test our hospitality, trusting and believing that, of course, people are going to be greeted and talked to, not just by someone, on in a volunteer role, but by people that are there and see someone they don't know and want to reach out and want to make people feel welcome. Brothers and sisters, we have to be willing to do that. And obviously, even in the midst of this COVID world, we can do that in a way where we show someone a smiling face, where we introduce ourselves and say, hey, I'm Jake, nice to meet you. And we hear their name. And even if you're not good at remember names, don't worry about that. You can ask someone's name 100 times and you'll be able to figure it out. And so I just want to encourage us. Would we be a welcoming church? I was reading a blog a while back, and I couldn't find it. Maybe one of you can, where it was written by, I think it was a pastor's wife, and she talked about some of the rules they had on Sunday morning. And one of the rules they had when they come to church was that new guests, new visitors were an emergency. And I just love that language, that when you see someone that you don't know before, maybe they're new, maybe they're not, but you just treat that as an emergency. Like, oh, if you do nothing else, you want to make sure they feel welcome, not because anything else, but because it's an opportunity to love and care for somebody and make someone feel comfortable in a setting maybe where they're not known. So one just tip, I would encourage you, don't ask the question, is this your first time at Northbrook? So if you're used to asking that question, try to delete it from your vocabulary and just ask, how long have you been around Northbrook? Because there might be people here from the beginning that you maybe just have missed and not really seen, or especially in COVID, they've been gone and been at home. But just, how long have you been around Northbrook? And they may say, hey, this is our first time. Or they may say, we've been here from the beginning, or, obviously something in between. But as we greet one another, would we really long to do it as Jesus has greeted and welcomed us? Would we look for Sunday as an opportunity to do that with one another?